Oh, I have an update on cost sharing. If you remember, we covered this a couple of episodes ago. When did we cover this? I'll tell you, episode 4, we covered it. Uh, CAA has released some further guidance on cost sharing, which is really, really useful to know. And in fact, they released what I was looking for last time. Let's have a look. So passengers information, we've already looked at this. If you want to know more on this, of course, this is a CAA, UK CAA cost sharing flights. Just Google that and it will come up. What I am most interested in this time around, since we've already had a look at this at length, because like I told you guys, I am using you. I am using you as a way to be accountable, to kind of look at the stuff that I should be looking at, which, 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 helps me stay abreast of the latest information, but also it's kind of like a bit of peer study, right? Shout out to Abs. Abs says, "Hey, great to see that you're doing live streaming. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for passing through." So back to this cost sharing. What's the latest from the CAA? So remember last time they said that there's a passenger declaration form, right? So basically, in a nutshell, go and read this for yourself, but I'll give it to you in a nutshell. Cost sharing is about, making the aim of allowing cost sharing, I think, from what I read, is about allowing pilots to get more experience. So the cost of the flight isn't holding you back, right? So if there's more people contributing, then you can do more hours. You become more proficient. That's the idea. So really, it sounds like the CAA wants to encourage cost sharing, but it needs to happen in a specific way to ensure safety. Among some of those points is that when you're cost sharing, whether you apply onto like sites like Wingly or stuff like that, where you post the flights that you're going to do, and then maybe a stranger jumps in and says, "Hey, that sounds like a cool flight, I'll jump in." And then they contribute to the cost. Now, the guidance from the CAA basically says that, let's say you have 4 people and the flight costs £200, you as a pilot have to pay an equal share. So that would be, of course, £50 minimum. Now you can pay more than that, but the minimum is the equal share. And you can only, the passengers can only contribute towards direct costs. So the cost of the flight, costs at the airfield, maybe landing fees, that kind of thing, right? They can't pay for you to get to the airfield, for example. Now, where this guidance, what I'm about to show you, comes in is that before a passenger jumps in, one of the things you have to do is tell them about, the differences in commercial aviation, or how much more risky general aviation is compared with commercial aviation, right? Briefing them about that. And then the idea is, what the guidance that they're bringing that should take effect from the 1st of October 2025, is that they want GA pilots to get passengers to sign a declaration form, and the pilots need to retain a copy. And I imagine if you don't do that, thank you may end up in some trouble, right? So let's have a look at what that declaration form looks like. A template form is here. So this is current. Very important whenever you're dealing with documents is to check that they are current. Yeah. And this is version 2, version date 28th of July. Last time I came here, didn't show this, but let's have a look. What's this? Cost sharing guidance. Oh yeah, we had a look at this, and see, this is more useful. This is more useful. I swear, last time we came here, this was not there. Right, okay, let's go back. That's not it. View file, passenger and pilot declaration form. There we go. There we go. Cost sharing flight, essential passenger and pilot information, right? Date of flight, aircraft, blah, blah, blah. Pilot in command, pilot license type and number. En route landing locations, if any, final landing location, essential passenger information. Let's have a look. The following information is essential reading if you are intending to fly as a passenger on a cost-sharing flight. Ensure that you read and you have read and understood this information before commencing your flight. By signing this declaration form, either for yourself or on behalf of somebody else, you are confirming that you fully understand and accept in full the risks that can be involved in flying as a passenger on a cost-sharing flight. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, just checking how long it is. Cost-sharing flights are flights undertaken by private individuals. The cost-shared element is in reference to the costs of the specific flight, which can be shared only between the pilot and others on board the aircraft. These are the direct costs, which are those directly incurred in relation to a specific flight. Okay. There can be no element of profit for the pilot as these flights are not commercial. If the flight generates profit for the pilot, they will be operating outside of regulations, therefore in breach of law, potentially rendering any insurance invalid. Okay, the contribution towards the direct costs on the flight by the pilot must not be less than the total direct cost divided equally, which was what I said before, by the number of people on board. You're intending to take or to undertake a flight for which the safety rules are not as stringent as they are for commercial air transport flights, where the aircraft pilots and operators are subject to more frequent checks and stricter oversight rules by the Civil Aviation Authority. The safety and conduct of any flight, including cost-sharing flight, is the responsibility of the pilot in command of the aircraft. The pilot must conduct the flight in accordance with the regulation for non-commercial flights with light aircraft. It is also the pilot's responsibility to ensure the flight is appropriately insured for cost-sharing flights with passengers. As a passenger, it is your responsibility to check any personal life, accident, or health insurance you have is valid for non-commercial flights. Okay. Then here, the passenger signs a declaration and you keep that, right? Pilot in command declaration, tick each box below. Okay, so for the pilot in command, I confirm that my license, associated type rating, whatever, crew medical are all current for this flight. I confirm the aircraft shown above holds a valid certificate of airworthiness or permit to fly, and the current aircraft insurance includes cover for cost-sharing flights. I confirm that I am paying the appropriate share of the direct cost of this flight as required by cost-sharing regulations. I confirm that I have explained to the passengers that the flight is carried out under the cost share regulations as a recreational flight and is not subject to the same safety standards as commercial operators, such as airlines, and the aircraft is not required to be maintained to the same airworthiness standards as commercially operated aircraft. So it's great to lay eyes on this new declaration as they're shifting or as they're adjusting, tweaking the cost sharing regulations. So yeah, which take effect on the 1st of October. So yeah, there you have it. There you have it. So that's good knowledge to have. And I'm going to drink on that. Right. Well, that is your cost sharing update.